Sure. Nicole Kiter, Director of Media at Equifax Personal Solutions.
Abby McCauley, Account Supervisor at 360i. Should redo that. I did think about it.
No.
Oh, good. Excellent. Right.
Just got a promotion. Woo woo.
Yeah. I don't know what I do.
So I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to ask a question. I'll have begin, and then you can chime in if you have anything to add, or if you want to just answer the question again from the agency perspective. So Nicole, in the session today, it touched on the brand agency and vendor perspectives on marketing attribution. In the case of your attribution engagement, what are the basic roles that each organization played?
Yeah, so for the brand, right, we were really the champions. We led the decisioning process for Visual IQ. We really brought in the agency to help us with that process. That was very important. And, we own the relationship with both the agency and Visual IQ, right? So we really are the champions with the agency and work with them to implement and keep moving forward.
Yeah, so when we started the engagement, all three of us, Equifax and 360i and Visual IQ, basically all held hands and jumped in together. So It's a very symbiotic relationship where we're all held to the same goals, going the same place, same speed. We all get it, and we're all in it together. And I think that summarizes, our roles might overlap, like Visual IQ might do something, or 360i might do something, but really the story is the fact that we're all together in it.
Yeah, great question. We really leaned on our agencies to help us make those day-to-day decisions with money movements, what we're doing, getting us the efficiencies that we need, right? So it's very important that they own that process and act quickly. So the advantage for us was quick action, good decisioning, and, the agency is really the ones who are in the day-to-day data all the time, so they're going to know the right decisions to make.
Yeah, I think that's the key point, is that we're in the data, nitty gritty, every single day. We eat it, we breathe it, we sleep it, we love it. That's what we do. So when we get recommendations from Visual IQ, we understand exactly how those fit in with the rest of the media plan and how to action on them in the quickest, most appropriate way.
That's exactly right. Well, we'll give some channel-specific examples, right? With paid search, what I was really impressed with was we knew that it's always a closer, right? So we made some assumptions that it would lose a little bit of credit at the starting point, and it did. But what really impressed me with what 360i and Visual IQ were able to do when they partnered was they were able to figure out a way to lose less, right? Make the bid optimizations, make the campaign budget changes to lose less and really focus on the keywords that are driving the value. So I was really impressed with that. You don't have to have a channel that's a closer lose value all the time. You can really close that gap if you're focusing on your optimizations properly. With display, I was really impressed with a lot of the optimizations we put in market, right? Frequency caps were the first thing that we did. It was a huge win. And what I was really impressed with was the continuing of optimizations, right? It's just like an ever-breathing media plan. You have to continue to optimize, continue to change, and that work will never be done.
I think for search and display, just to give a couple more channel level examples of some of the things that we did learn that I think are truly insightful for us and we've been able to action off of, are for search, for example, we learned that we thought that there was a relationship between non-brand, brand, and then conversion in terms of the user path. But what we found for us is that those are actually two separate audiences. So now when we address those audiences, we think about them as very separate beings, and that's really helped strengthen our plan.
So you mentioned in your presentation that you are on pace to save approximately $1.4 million in media spend in your first year of using the Visual IQ marketing platform. What are you doing with that $1.4 million?
It's 1.8.
Woo woo.
Teslas.
Absolutely. Yeah, Tesla's number one on our list, and lots of shoes. But yeah, so what we did was we actually took a little less than half and we reinvested it into opportunities that we saw in our day-to-day media. And then the rest of it we got to invest and do really fun things. You know, we're a super focused DR advertiser, so a lot of times we can't show the value of things like high impact buys, site-specific buys, programmatic direct. You know, those are harder to prove out on our DR basis, and we're able to put money in those things and really show their value along the way.
Very eloquently said. I'm going to go with that.
Perfect.
So one of the concerns that you sometimes hear expressed about attribution is that it poses a real threat to certain stakeholders who have vested interest in maintaining the status quo, whether it's people responsible for managing paid search or the agency responsible for a big chunk of the brand's media buying. But it sounds like that isn't the case with your collaboration around attribution. How did you avoid or get past those potential issues?
Really good question, because I do think it is a problem when you try to do advanced attribution for a lot of different groups. The way that we approached it is we gave everybody one goal, right? And it didn't matter where the money was spent, it didn't matter where the sales came in, but everyone had the same goal. So it only behooved everyone to play nice in the sandbox, share money, move money, and do what was needed, right? So it really worked out for us that way. I think that if more agencies really took channel-specific goals out of it, really driven by the client, you wouldn't see the kind of issues you have in making those decisions.
And I think from our perspective, our search and display teams work very, very closely together. So we sit together, we're together all the time. So if search is saying, I need more money for this, display is willing to give it because it is very unified. It is one team. There is no fighting between channels, between teams, who gets this money,
Right.
who gets that. There's none of that. We look at it much more holistically. And I think that that's very different than most agencies and most teams have. And I think that's part of
Yes.
what made the $1.8 million savings, is that we were able to be so fluid together.
That's exactly right. Either we win together or we lose together. Sharing is caring.
Tesla's for everyone.
Tesla's for everyone.
What is your favorite thing about working with Visual IQ's marketing attribution platform?
You know what? I have a lot of things that I'm really pleased with in working with VIQ. One of the things I'm most pleased with is the account service. Our account people, hi Nahal.
Nahal, we love you.
We love Nahal and Aman. But, you know, they really did an amazing job of partnering with not only me, but Abby at the agency and the teams. There is no end to the learning, the education. There's no end to the help. You know, anything that we need, they really just go out of their way to help us. And I think that, you know, it's not just what the agency did, what we did. It's also what VIQ did, and that's why we hit our goal. It's everybody holding hands and jumping in the deep end together.
And in terms of the actual platform itself, you are able to pull data and get very granular.
Yeah.
So my media leads can go in and pull data and look at it at a very granular level. I mean, placement, creative level details. So when we're doing optimizations, we can go basically all the way down to the very bottom. And I think that's pretty exciting, because I don't think
is.
a lot of other platforms can get quite that deep. And
Yeah.
we regularly go that deep with our data. We're data fiends, so,
And sometimes the client looks,
oh Lord.
and then they don't like it.
Lastly, what advice would you give someone who has made the decision to implement attribution, has selected a vendor, and is starting to see their first insights? Any words of caution or words of encouragement?
Well, that question is probably not good for me, because as Abby will tell you, I say go, 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 right? I throw caution to the wind, right? If we're going to put everybody's time and effort into this and have really big goals, we need to move, right? So the way that we looked at it was run. And the worst thing that happens is we make a bad decision and we turn around and we fix it, right? It's the same thing with any other optimization that you make. You know, sometimes you make good decisions and sometimes you make bad, but you have to just keep moving.
I think my number one piece of advice would be get the teams involved. So it's not just Nicole and I on this project. It's the
Absolutely.
entire team, all the way down to the interns. Everybody learns the Visual IQ system. Everybody is in, we're in it all the time, everybody. And I think that by having everybody in it and everybody believing in it, it has
That's right.
buy-in across teams, not only on the 360i side, but also the Equifax side. And I think that if I could give any piece of advice, would be train everybody.
Yes.
They make sure they are all drinking the Kool-Aid together with you, and they all believe it too.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Nicole and Abby, that's all I have. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.